Hello beautiful people, what it do, Sky Squad, welcome back. And in this video I am going to be sharing with you guys my top 3 ways that I keep my locks covered at night or really just any time of the day. And I'm also going to be having tips, especially no matter where you are in your lock journey, whether you just started or if you've been 5+ years in the game. I'm going to give you some tips that I found over the years that I found helpful, especially if you struggle with keeping it on your head throughout the night or trying to find something that suits you. So if that interests you, keep on watching. All right, y'all. So the last time I did this was many years ago, and I've actually gotten some recent comments on there. So I just wanted to kind of refresh this, go back, share what I've learned, because back then I had my baby locks, my teen locks going on, and now we are grown and mature. So the first way that I like to keep my hair covered is by the OG. I've talked about this a million times on my channel, especially during my lock journey, and it's a satin scarf. I have a satin scarf here. And so basically I'm going to show you what I do, especially now that my locks are longer, on how I wrap my hair with a satin scarf. Essentially, you have a scarf, it's a square. I turn it like this and I make a fold. Now this is important because depending on how long your locks are will determine what size this needs to be. So usually I go about right here. You see how like this corner and this corner aren't touching? I did that on purpose, and I'll show you in a second why that is. But as my locks get longer, they do not touch. The corners do not touch here. I just put all my hair to the back, and then I put this top piece right in the front. So that's basically how it looks. And then I usually just tuck it behind my ears, and I grab the 2 little wings. So basically the triangle that we made, I'm not touching really. It's just the 2 sides. I come from the back and I cross them over each other. And right here is probably another tip. I just kind of bring this tighter to where it's not too tight so I don't get a headache, but it's tight enough to where it kind of minimizes the chances of it slipping off at night. And sometimes I roll these tails here, bring it to the front, and I'll usually double tie it with a bow, and that's how I do it. So then you can see how my locks are basically, for the most part, all the way covered. I can tuck that tail in if I wanted to. So if I wanted to bring it up here, I could tuck it in, but really, if I wear my scarf like this, I keep my locks like this, and they're covered, no problem. Or your locks isn't the length as mine, you can bring those 2 corners closer together. They can even touch if you wanted to. Have those touch, do the same thing. And what I like about the satin scarf method is because it really just kind of holds down your locks in place. So especially if you have a fresh retwist, or like I said, if you just started your lock journey, I like this as probably like my top choice. So as you can see, when I made the triangle smaller, all my locks aren't being covered, but if you don't have as long of locks as I do, you want that to be the case, so that way you're not having to fumble with as much fabric, not really being useful. So that's how I do that. Another way you can do your scarf is, I call it the pineapple. This is probably my favorite way, and this way, I don't know, it just really helps as far as not slipping off at night. I don't know, this one compared to the one I just showed you, for some reason I just feel like the pineapple way, it just stays on my head better. So to do that, you're just basically gonna do the same thing. You're gonna make your little triangle pieces, whatever size you need, and instead of putting it how we did in the front, we're gonna start from the back. So I literally just flip my hair to the front. I bring my scarf piece here, and basically what I did to the front, I'm gonna do to the back. So then my triangle is pointing up, essentially. I still tuck it behind my ear. I do a double knot in the back. So I look like this for right now, but I think one of my favorite things to do is actually stuff my locks in. And for some reason, it's just a lot more secure. It's off my neck, it's out of my face. And I use this tail and I bring it back and I just tuck it and roll it near the knot I made. And boom, I'm done. Ooh, I love this. I just love how it just keeps all my locks together, especially as my locks is getting longer. Or if you just don't want anything on your neck or you're not used to that. I really like the pineapple, especially as you go throughout your lock journey, starting to have like mature locks and getting some more length on there. I just really like throwing it up here, and for some reason it's less likely to fall off my head at night. And this is also how I protect my curls to last longer, and longer I mean by weeks on end. I do a pineapple thing and my curls are good to go and here to stay. So there's that. Alrighty, the next is kind of a new way I've started to do this. It's usually on my lazier days. I feel like this is perfect if you have starter locks or if you have like maybe shortish medium locks, length of locks, and it is the Durag. This is Bow Wow's Durag, by the way. So these are longer than normal and this is longer. I've seen a Durag at Dollar Tree and it's pretty much shorter than this, but I think if I had starter locks I would probably use this first before the Satin Scarf because it's just less material that you have to deal with. And so essentially I put it on as anyone normally would, and I'm all about securing it underneath essentially. And I will say if you get this too tight it will give you a headache. You can wrap it around the front if you want to. Now that my locks have gotten longer, I wrap it around here sometimes. Depending on the length of your locks will decipher, you know, how useful this Durag method would be, but I like it. And I feel like it's not as thick as the Satin Scarf, so if I had starter locks I would probably just revert to this. It's less hassle, less of an issue. You know, you can grab all the different styles you want, you can find all different kinds. Again, less fabric but still gets the job done. And so I think the longer your locks get, this might phase out, but I kind of like still doing this, especially on my lazy days. Okay, y'all, number 3. I don't know, I have a love-hate relationship with bonnets. So the normal size bonnets do not work for my locks anymore. And I don't really recommend them like if you have starter locks, just because I do and I don't. I do because at least it kind of keeps your locks protected in there even when it's like moving around. But again, it doesn't really prevent your locks from moving around. It doesn't prevent from manipulation. So if you're worried about frizziness or, you know, extra fuzz or anything, especially with teenage locks, you might want to use a Satin Scarf or even a Durag before opting for a bonnet. And a lot of the bonnets I had, the normal size, they just didn't have a strong elastic band. So me using those now, the weight of my locks brings that bonnet back and it don't really stay on too well. So I have this bad boy. It's just an extra large, extra big, and in charge bonnet. As you can see, it has that thick banding there, which makes all the difference. It's so secure on my head. Then you have that inner lining there. Then you have this slippery slick, oops, excuse me. You have this slippery slick lining on this outside. So I love this, especially when I'm lazy as well, like and get through the day. This is how I would do it. So I bring my hair to the front and the back, and then I'm done. I am done. It stays secure. The band is not too tight to where it gives me a headache or anything. I just like this. But yeah, so this is how I wrap my locks up, not just at night, but just really anytime you want to prevent that lint, you want to prevent pet hair anywhere attracted to your locks. You know, once you start getting locks, baby, everything's attracted to it. So this is one way to protect it, especially at night, but at any time. Okay guys, so I almost forgot the bonus tip, which was a satin pillowcase. These have been my saving grace, especially if you forget, especially you want to kind of help keep things on. If my scarf or something does come off in the middle of the night, I still have this somewhat protecting from like moisture locks and things like that. It's not the best as far as if you only want to rely on this to protect your hair from lint, especially, you know, depending on your bedding or depending on if you have animals or just random flyaways in the air, child. This won't protect you from all of that like a scarf will, but I think this is a good addition to add to your lock arsenal. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you. If you would like for me to dive deeper or answer any more of your lock questions, you already know what to do. Leave me a comment and let me know. I hope this was helpful, especially for those of you who have been struggling to keep certain scarves on or bonnets on. Let me know if this is helpful for you in the comments, and until next time, peace.